Sure, you're right.
What's up? What's up? Back with another A to Z, Rodzilla, and my homie friend Oyanga Ali. What's good, man?
What's up, Ryan?
Not much, bro. We just sitting here laughing because I put the mic on earlier and I dropped into the deep voice like you know,
The
I don't
Barry
know,
White.
very
Show
white.
your ride.
Yeah, we're back.
That's
A to
funny.
Z. We just two friends. Ali and I always enjoyed talking to each other. I lived in Vegas for a while and I moved up to Oregon in 2019. And ever since we've just had great conversations over the phone. So we just said, why not just get online, talk about it? Maybe these conversations could help someone, inspire someone. And at the end of the day, we're just about spreading love, sharing experiences. We hear experience is the greatest teacher. But so we're just sharing our experiences. Hope we've learned a lot from our experiences, and hopefully you can as well. And that's what we're about, just talking everything A to Z.
Oh yeah, especially when we got to be good for. I think I got to be a lot closer and felt comfortable allowing you in when we had that Christmas party and our family um, went over to the house, and that was pretty. It was a fun time. It was interesting and everything for that whole situation, but
That
we
was like
kind
what,
of
20
gravitated.
2018 maybe? Yeah, 2017,
Yeah,
2018.
yeah, and I kind of gravitated towards each other. I guess because we were both Marines, even though we
Yeah.
wasn't wearing the same clothes. But and so I knew we had something in common. So, and ever since then, like you said, we've been having some really interesting conversations on uh, about everything. And like you said, educating ourselves,
Yeah.
seeing another avenue to a way of thinking, uh, just opening it up to be cool with each other. You know what I'm saying? To be educated, to share.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
And yeah, that's up, man. So what's new in your world? I mean, we just got the biggest news in the country with new president. That's interesting. Oh, you
Yeah, man. You know
you
what I'm
put that
saying?
out earlier. Shots fired, Ali. Shots fired. Take it.
Yeah.
Oh man. I
I
mean,
gotta
I don't go for it.
go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't know who you voted for. It doesn't really matter who you voted for. We're gonna be friends anyway. People are losing their
Right.
mind based on who got elected, who didn't get elected, and that's always been a funny thing to me. Because we have this right to vote. We should be able to exercise it, and we should be able to exercise it freely of scrutiny from anyone else. But lately people are losing family members, friends, you name it, because of it,
Yes.
and that's
Yeah, I
crazy.
know. I know. Like what you just mentioned. One of my homies, his wife just got defriended or
Oh boy.
unfriended on
Okay, you got
Facebook
canceled.
because just because she likes Trump. She got and Trump won, so she got uninvited from birthday parties and stuff like that from one of her friends.
Wow.
Her husband, the only thing her husband can say, well, at least now uh, that she's not a true friend, because a true friend
Right.
would be like, okay, well, that's who you voted for, or whatever. I like you for who you are anyway. So some people do let things like politics
Politics.
and
Yeah.
religion dictate who they want to hang around. And I can understand some parts of religion if it gets spoken out. Like, oh, wait a minute, you an atheist? I don't really want to hang around you atheists, even though we done been to cookouts and McDonald's and went out to eat and played volleyball and did all kinds of stuff together. I did not know you was atheist this whole time. F
Now
you.
we're done.
Right.
Yeah,
you
that's
know
crazy.
that's crazy. Yeah, it is, man. And people do that about like all different types of just
Yeah,
religious things.
sport teams. Which is
Yes.
oh man, like yeah, my son, who he's a basketball player. He's hoping to play basketball in college, and so he loves the sport, obviously. But he even recognizes, like, Dad, why are these grown men fighting in the stands about a football game that they're 30, 50 yards away? They can barely even see the players, and they're up here fighting like some idiots.
Right.
So like what are we doing? Like, why? How do we get brainwashed to be so intolerant of others' beliefs?
Well, do you? I think.
Or
Oh, go ahead. You coming from a different angle. Go ahead. To be
well,
so intolerant of other people's beliefs when
yeah,
it
just
comes to
being
sports.
intolerant of other people's beliefs. If I believe, let's just say taxes should go up, and I vote for this person, and you believe they're okay, then I mean, is that a reason to be intolerant or put me down or shame or call me garbage or any of those types of things? And that's what we see a lot of times. And it plays out in sports too. Like we're saying, people get into fights about. My son showed me a clip where this dude was purposely wearing the opposite team's jersey to games to be an antagonist, and people were like literally trying to fight him. Just fuck you for doing this. Take off that jersey. What are you doing? That type of
Yeah,
stuff. Crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, that was it,
It
man.
is. Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird how they have got us so programmed, and it goes way back to Caesar. How they keep us distracted. For the
Caesar.
Colosseum, the Roman Empire, where
Oh,
they
with the
was
games and
having
all that.
the games, right?
Yeah.
And then during those, they was probably boosting one gladiator over another gladiator, getting
Yep.
hey, that's my favorite gladiator, and he got killed, and you're laughing because you're gladiator. I'm fighting you. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know if
Oh, you
that's
better
how it
believe it.
happened,
I,
but
I,
it
I,
makes sense.
if human beings are anything today like like they were back then or they are today, remotely similar, yeah, they were fighting about it. You better believe it. People
Yeah,
were fighting about it.
and they just keep it going that way. Oh, people get in their shells about certain things, religions, sports, just politics. I mean, like I guess there's something for everything. Like even some veterans kind of shell themselves off
Yeah,
from
what like from
from
society in general?
from civilians,
Oh yeah,
because
for sure.
it's like I don't
They
want to
think
be
civilians
around a
don't
civilian
understand, right? Yeah,
because they don't. I
yeah.
mean,
I mean,
to be honest
in a
with you,
lot
they
of
don't.
ways, yes. In a lot of ways, yes, for sure.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
no
most
doubt.
definitely you can't compare like we had people trying to compare living in like Chicago compared to being sent to Iraq. They call it, how they
What?
call it. You're right,
Oh,
because
like
they
they
call
would
it
call it
little
Chirac, right? That's the nickname
Chirac,
for it.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
people trying to compare it because like they're killing fields, but the people there's it's two totally different mentalities. Like
Yeah,
military vets, I mean military people got plucked from their home. Some of it, most of it voluntarily, but
sure.
got plucked. It was got sent someplace where they can't leave on their own.
Yes.
They can't just get in the car and drive away because everybody there is a freaking enemy. When you separate from your group, you get murdered. So in a sense, maybe like in Iraq, in Chicago, it's probably the same thing. You get separated from your homie and you in the store because you didn't use the buddy system. You get shot, but they can go home. You know what I mean? These other people were stuck, and they're stuck. So I mean, now don't get me wrong. PTSD is probably damn near the same, but the
Sure.
experience is not. The experience is not. It's not.
Yeah, yeah, definitely a different experience. And yeah, I can get that. People separate off, and I think it's just what do you think they doing that for? Just to feel more safe in themselves, more like-minded people around. You kind of hinted at that earlier that people flock to different groups because people share the same views, and that makes them feel more comfortable. And it's probably just that, right? If someone has disbeliefs or something that's different, that's approaching an uncomfortable situation, maybe a topic that you may not feel comfortable seeing a different viewpoint, like religion, for example. If you've been brought up, I was brought up Christian, and certainly there was no accepting other religions into that. Like there was no like, yeah, let's have a Buddhist day, and all the Buddhists can come to church with us, and we do it the same that week, that Sunday. There was none of that. So it's always sectioning off even in the religion, from other religions, and it makes it uncomfortable sometimes to be able to discuss another one. So that tends to keep people, I think, in the safety of people who think the same as they do, in this group think kind of mentality. And that can be great, and it also can be dangerous in a lot of ways. I've always had
Yeah.
this thought. Like, if you're too pro something, you eventually become anti something else.
Oh yeah.
So if you're too pro anything, you're going to start pushing out other things, and then you become stagnant because you're unwilling to see it from a different perspective.
Well, also it could just be certain obsessions.
Okay.
Like just in my idea of the way Kobe Bryant was saying, you have to be obsessed. Everything that he did, like he did to be better than the next person in his field. He wasn't even focused on anybody else's field. He was focused on basketball, and he got up early to exercise. He said some people might exercise 3 times a day, but if you get up at this time, you can exercise 6 times a day. That's more than them, you know. And everybody said his work ethic was crazy, and it showed because he was obsessed with being the best him he could be.
Yeah.
Right. So I think what happens is pretty much what you said. When people do become obsessed in with something, they have something else that they just don't like. There's other things around them that they cannot agree with because it doesn't fit their obsession. And I think some people just don't take it all the way to the max level. They get stuck in between. And the meaning, what I'm saying is politics.
Yeah.
People get really obsessed with their politics, but they're not politicians. So,
yeah, same with those teams, right? You get really obsessed with those teams and you're not even on the team.
Right. So they're not at the Kobe Bryant level where you can still pull in other stuff. That's, that's okay. I can understand that, whatever. Or just wave it off without being upset. They're sucking in all of their stuff, but working at McDonald's, working at Honda, working at their lawyers, so, but they're still obsessed with their party or sports or whatever. So I think that's where half being half cocked is what gets people is what get people lost.
That's you paint a perfect picture there, man. And I won't take credit for this because I heard it from a guy, Seven Bomar. And he says that a lot of times with this fighting is because people are neophytes. So a neophyte, in that word, a neophyte is someone who's just learning something new. So you become it's a new fighter. So with that type of energy, a neophyte could also be seen as someone who's immature. And when people are getting into these politics and they get so obsessed with it, that's a very immature way of interacting with politics. So this is when you see the fighting with these neophytes who are being immature about it. But you don't see the politicians fighting. You don't see Trump literally going to fight Kim Jong-un. They're sitting down on the table talking like adults.
Right.
You don't see when Trump talking about he's going to deal with Putin, he's going to go talk to him. They're not going to have a fist fight. They're going to be very mature about it. So the point I'm making is the people who are fighting and disowning family members and friends is because they are neophytes. They're immature. And it's very immature political discussions that they're having, or they're seeing it from a very immature way, because everyone knows these deals get done through communication and talking and writing things down and on paper so that we can agree. So yeah, that's just to piggyback on what you're saying, man. The neophytes and adults who are people who are mature, they are able to see it from different viewpoints.
Right.
Because they have enough knowledge and awareness about the whole situation to take in all of the viewpoints and then make a decision on how they're going to act versus being pulled by the emotion right away.
And then not somebody who's just willing to hear a different side.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people out there that's like, I don't care what you say. Everything that I think is 100% correct. You know, you can come with encyclopedias that have the information that's been around for 400 years, you know, and give it to me. It doesn't matter because it's not right now and it's not how I think, you know. You just, like you said, immature people, immature new thinkers, the neo thinkers. It's, oh man, it's just one of those. Yes, it's a wild system that they have created.
Yeah,
And
stock market.
that we're accepting too.
Oh yeah, we're accepting it. That's a funny word, man. We're accepting it. Is there anything else to accept though? Like, what else could we do but this system, Ali?
Yeah, we could try to fight it, and it's more so like what we were speaking about last time, and then it's about the drama in it, the negative drama that everybody seeks, you know, and because it's in our culture of us being American, there's nothing that we do that does not have a negative drama to it, even though we put the negative drama, we put the negative in most of the spins. It doesn't have to be negative, you know, but we make everything negative. Like if a person is fixing a car, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh man, oh my God, I need a wrench. I don't have a wrench. They're not going to be traumatized by it. They're going to have to run and go to the store and get a new wrench and come back and fix the car. There's really no drama about it. The car's got to get fixed, right? Well, okay, well, whatever. Or if they're trying to make a soup at home and they're like, man, I forgot to get the beans. All right, let me call somebody. Hey, are you on your way home? Hey, could you grab some beans from the store? All right, cool, thank you. Or I just got to go back out there real quick and go get some beans so I can make this soup. It doesn't have to be such a traumatic or dramatic experience, but we would bring the drama. Now I got to get back out there. I got to drive back to the store, go right past that same homeless person, gonna be asking me for money that I ain't gonna give him no more, then go back in there. You know, I mean, like bringing all this drama, even if it's just one piece. We're so used to drama that we bring it in every single situation.
For sure.
What I mean?
And the way you pointed out too is a very interesting way. Like, not only do we crave it, but we project it into our future. Like something like you just said, I'm gonna go to the store and this guy's gonna ask you for money, and then this is gonna happen. Like you haven't even left the house yet, but you're projecting
right.
You're projecting a negative experience to unfold in your life. So what do you expect? And that's so slippery because if we go to, you know, we can create our own reality. A lot of it is so subconscious. It's a subconscious creation of it, right? So if you're projecting from your true state on the inside, unaware of it, that you're projecting these negative experiences, that's what you're gonna get.
Right. But that's how the system is built to control us, man.
Yes, it's so slippery.
And, you know, and I'm always stuck on the control part because I'm trying to loosen
the control. Free, Ali?
Trying to get free. Trying to get free. Because there's a way.
Free your mind, man. Free your mind. The rest will follow.
Yeah. Okay, En Vogue.
Free your mind. That was a good song, man.
That was a good song. Yeah, that was a good song, but they didn't teach it. They didn't teach you how to do it.
Oh, they didn't give any instructions. They should have came out with a manual, a little booklet.
They did kind of. She said, free your mind and the rest will follow. Be colorblind. Don't be so shallow.
Oh, well, that's facts right there.
Yeah, that is. It's a little bit. It's not enough. We didn't have enough songs like that. We just came out with all sex. During that time, it was pretty much all sex songs. You know.
Oh yeah, a lot of love making, right?
Yeah, and then it went from there.
Love making heart. What? Yeah. Wasn't that one of their songs too?
Yeah, En Vogue. What's that? Hold on. What's it going to be?
Yeah, hold
There
on.
you go.
Yeah.
And then we went from there to killing everybody with Little Vert, and Uzi, and YSL and all that shit.
Lil Uzi, man, my son's a Lil Uzi fan, and that album came out a few days ago. He said he hated it, like the worst one ever.
Oh, that's
Like,
good.
Hated to even call himself a Lil Uzi fan. Like, whoa,
I'm
bad?
glad. I'm glad. So now he won't have to
Yeah.
be brainwashed or get them subliminal messages put into his brain.
Yeah, because you know that's what it is.
That's all it is. But you know
especially
what?
with his albums. I don't know if you like paid attention to the artwork and all that. Yeah. Okay.
Nope. but you know how it is. We sit there, like when I would listen to R. Kelly, I loved R. Kelly. It didn't matter. If he had a song that I didn't like, if he had a song that I didn't like, I would listen to it over and over again. Like, what? Okay, now the song is good. I like the song now. I get it. But it took me like 3 or 4 or 5 times to listen to it to get it, because I wanted to like every single one of his songs.
Why the hell you wanted to like them all? Why?
Because
why you want to like them all? So you didn't have to skip a song during the album?
Yeah, probably some of that too. But I like Slow Jam when it first came out, and yeah, that's like right.
I had to go back in my mind and think of that one. Okay, yeah.
When he was with Public Announcement, I think. But
hey, Mr. DJ, yeah, I remember that one now. I don't even know if we can. I don't even know if we can like those songs anymore, Ali. I think we talked about it before, man.
Listen, yeah, we can like them freaking songs. I'm not going to stop liking them. I'm not. He is the king of R&B, dude.
Hold on.
Like there's nobody that's better than R. Kelly. I don't care what anybody says. I will argue with you with this one. Okay, first off, right now, just to make my point, what other R&B producer has actually wrote as many songs for other people that he has that have topped the charts, right?
I don't know how many has he written.
I don't know, but it's been a whole lot. He's actually written for country singers. He's written for rock and roll singers. He's written for other rappers, other R&B singers. He written Fortunate for Maxwell. He written he's written a lot of songs, and he has done his own music. He wrote his own music. He did a play. Remember his musical Trapped in the Closet? Who else done that?
Oh no.
Who else done that?
He had a musical?
Trapped in the Closet.
Oh, you talking about the one with him and what's the old guy's name? Isley?
No. Ron Isley wasn't in it.
Isley wasn't in it? Okay.
Nah, Ron Isley wasn't in it. But even those songs that he did with Contagious and Down Low, the ones that he was doing with those were like a continuation. You know, they were like a continuation of other songs that he made for Ron Isley. But Trapped in the Closet was basically a basic play, but it was a musical play. So there was really no talking, but he was singing. Like him and the other people were singing the whole time. Who else tried to innovate the game like that? Nobody else.
I mean, maybe Michael Jackson. He tried to innovate the game with some stuff back in the day.
But Michael Jackson isn't R&B.
He's more pop. He's pop.
Right. He's the king of pop.
I thought Bobby Brown took that title for him anyway, according to Whitney Houston. Didn't she say that? Like Bobby?
Yeah, she said something.
She said it, but I don't believe.
No, he's not. He can be the king of pop all he wants. I don't care. I'm not arguing that one. He ain't gonna be the king of R&B though.
No, R&B. You might be right. I mean, R. Kelly was different, bro. He was different.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when he came out with the, especially he was singing the play like you said, because I could go back and hear it. I mean, it was different.
Yeah, and I'm not saying his lifestyle. I'm not saying his lifestyle was one that I would choose, but I'm just talking about the actual art.
Yeah, the actual art. I mean,
his
He was
skill.
good.
There's no one right now that has even come close to doing what he has done. You know,
You're probably
so
right. Okay,
so
all right.
just in that aspect, just and if you can look at it, almost everybody that we like has have some kind of trauma in their lives, or have some kind of things in their lives that most people would not involve themselves in. Like,
No
even think
doubt,
about
man.
Usher. Usher been raped by Diddy, or not, whatever, you know. Other people probably had some drugs or womanizing, or Cardi B being a slut, and all these other. I mean, everybody's got some. Donald Trump being a supposed criminal, you know, like everybody. Camilla Harris. So I mean, we can't just down him and say that his skill is irrelevant because he did this. That his skill was a God-given gift to him. You can't. He just went elsewhere, but at least he pushed his skill out in his corrupt ass, nasty ass life. Whatever, peeing on people. But if that's your niche, then get peed on. I don't
I,
know.
yeah, I mean, and you make a great point. I mean, it's certainly, we all do things. We all have things. I've certainly done things in the past that I'm not proud of, that maybe someone else wouldn't do, and we're all like that. So it kind of definitely highlights um a separation, like you said, of his skills and talents, and then what he chose to do in his own personal life. I mean, I guess a lot of these cases is personal until it comes into the public arena and it affects someone else's life in a negative way. I guess that's the only clear line you can draw. Is like, does what you're doing affect others in a negative way? And because I think we've all done something crazy. And that's one
Yeah,
reason
of
why people
course.
were upset about Trump. I saw, well, he's a felon and he shouldn't be president. Now, when it comes to that, I mean, maybe they have a point,
Right.
because I maybe
Yes.
they have a point because I mean, I don't even know,
He's
what
a
is it.
criminal.
I tell you this one story, man. I got into some trouble when I was in high school, and I ended up going on probation. And in Georgia, you get tried as an adult when you were 17 back then, and so I got tried as an adult, right?
Hmm.
And the reason why that's important, because back then, if you got tried as an adult under a First Offenders Act, whatever happened to your record then would come off after a certain amount of years, because it was a first offender. And I was 17. And what I did was just went into the concession stands on the football field. We took a bunch of candy out. We had like bags full of candy. But I didn't know that this was damage of government property, burglary, some other things. So these were felony charges.
Oh,
But
wow.
as a high school kid, it's like, man, we just went in the concession stand and took some candy, which we shouldn't have, right? But the point I'm making is, fast forward 10 years later, I'm at a job, and this should have fell off my record, but it didn't because someone dropped the ball. So I'm at this security job. I've been on the job for about 60 days or whatever, and they pulled me into the office and said to me, "Hey, you lied on your application. You were convicted of this felony." And yes, that was true, but it should have been written where it never would be on my record, because it was supposed to be expunged after 10 years, but
Mhm.
someone didn't do the paperwork. So I got let go. And this is something very minor. So in this case, when we got a president that's potentially a felon, and I'm talking about doing a security job where I'm just walking around houses, and now this guy has the button to push for a nuke, right?
Yeah, super
Like
security.
super security, like super security, and that's okay. I
Yeah.
mean, I kind of have a problem with that. I can see
Uh,
how people can make a valid argument that we got a felon in the White House when people are getting let go or not allowed to be employed by simple things, sometimes even marijuana charges.
hey,
Or
and
yeah,
just bringing up the marijuana charges. Hey, you got to. This is the kind of America that we live in. You got all these people in prison for trafficking marijuana, but yet right here on the streets of Las Vegas, you got cars that say we deliver marijuana to your house. They actually say that. It's like, so that's the world that we live in, to where some things is bad, but now this year is good.
Yeah.
So
And
it's not surprising.
no, it's not surprising, and it makes you it brings back to what we were talking about a few weeks ago about morals, like which ones are morally wrong versus which ones are like rules that are made up to control.
All morals are made up to control, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's an opinion. I remember I did a little I don't want to quote it wrong, a little research about marijuana being illegal. One of the reasons why a lot of it was being smuggled back in the early 1900s into America across the Mexican border, and it wasn't able to be taxed or controlled, so they just outlawed it and made it illegal.
Right.
So a lot of things like that, why things end up being legal or illegal, is not even about protecting people or making sure they're safe or making sure it goes through the right process before before it rolls out to the public. It's a lot of times just about protecting
Politics.
monetary interests and politics.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing. What you said, it was about the hemp and marijuana at the same time, where the hemp plant, the marijuana plants, were able to, instead of it only being used for drugs like smoking, you can use it for rope. You can use it for paper. You can use it for this, and and it's cheaper and faster,
much more renewable resource
than the tree. So the people that was had that industry, the paper industry, was like, wait a minute, hold on, you can't use this. Let's make this illegal. And they had enough money to give to the politicians to make it illegal. It was only for that reason, like you said. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just adding to.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, man. So it's an interesting world. The stock market was going up though, which was nice to see yesterday after the news. People were, I don't know, my little stocks I have went up a little bit, which is nice. I got my little crypto trader going up, which is cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at mine right now. I just thought about it. I looked at it last night. I want to see if it came up a couple more dollars.
I'm sure you got a few more, man. So that's nice. I mean, what do you think about the economy, man? You think we're gonna be in better?
It went up.
Went up
yes.
A few more? They're gonna be much better now.
I think we are. I think we are, because of what he's planning on doing, and I think they showed. And this is me talking to quite a few young people as well. I think that a lot of young people and poor people are scared of what Trump is going to do and the things that have to transpire for America to be great.
What are people kind of afraid of that he's going to do, from your opinion?
It's work. We have to work. Okay, so when he said, I'm just going to use the John Deere because everybody knows, I ain't gonna say everybody, a lot of people know about the John Deere situation. They said they was going to move their stuff to Mexico. He said, we're going to put a 200% tariff on there, right? And so they're like, so the younger people are saying, well, if he puts a $200 200% tariff on it, that means the taxes is going to go up, and we have to buy more. Buy everything now at a higher cost. And I'm like, no, listen, that's not what he's doing. It's going to happen like what you said, but there's other companies that are here in America that their price won't have to go up, that you can spend your money on stuff that is made in America. He is trying to make Americans back to be producers instead of consumers because of our dollars dropping. If our dollar drops all around the world, which it is doing, if it drops all around the world and we are still consumers, we are a third world country right off the rip, because we can't afford anybody else's product to build our stuff. So if he says, okay, right now, this is the bottom, what we have to do right now is bring all the production back here to America so that America doesn't need to depend on everybody else, that means these people on welfare are going to have to get jobs. And because there's going to be jobs for them, that means the welfare system is going to be cut off for the most part. That means these young people out here that are lazy and got their life living pretty good are going to have to get down and get funky and get dirty and get to work.
So are you saying that Trump bringing back with his policies are going to allow manufacturing to come back into America on a large scale?
Yes.
Is that what you're
saying? But it's going to make us again independent of other countries. We think we're independent, but we're not, because we keep getting stuff from other countries. We're actually dependent on China. We're dependent on Taiwan. We're dependent on Japan. We're dependent on Indonesia. We're dependent on all these other places for their products to complete our product.
Yeah.
You know, like we'll build a piece here, but we need all these products from all these other places just to get this piece right so we can sell it. Why don't we build it here? We don't have to worry about those other people. You know what I mean?
Man.
So that, yeah, it sucks. It does suck for some people, but in the long run, everybody's so used to this freaking dumbass control cell phone that everybody wants stuff like this. Everybody wants it right now, and they're only thinking about the right now. They're only thinking about the right now. If we think about the right now, then Donald Trump is a piece of shit, and everything that he's trying to do is garbage. Project 25 is garbage, right? But if you're looking to the future, 10 years in the future, what would Project 25 have looked like? What would bringing production back to America look like?
I think
it's going to look beautiful. It's going to be beautiful.
I think you're partially right, bro. Partially.
What? Okay.
Production gonna come back. I think you're right. Production's gonna come back, but I don't think the goal is to employ a lot more people.
Oh, because you are thinking about everything being automated.
I think that's part of the large plan, is to automate more and more over time.
Okay.
And I think the stage is kind of set with the financial markets being the way they are, with people going off the dollar, people becoming more independent, and when I say not people, countries,
right.
Countries becoming more independent, and as they get off the dollar and they start adopting their own currency, now they can transact in their own currency. So the reason why that's important, like, you know, with the dollar being the world reserve currency, everything gets settled in dollars largely. Right. So oil, you know, so if let's say Venezuela now no longer has to settle in dollars, but they can settle in the Venezuelan central bank digital currency, they can write their own ticket, so to speak. Right. Because they don't have to use the dollars. And the dollars are becoming more expensive to use because of the interest rates being so high, even though they're coming down a little bit. And yeah, so I think, like, as things move forward, the plan will be to automate more and more. And the reason being is because these corporations are all about skimming profits off the top as much as they can. And the only thing that's going to do that for them, or the thing that's going to do that for them the most, is moving more and more towards automation.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. But you're still going to have people, at least right now, in order for the systems to get going. You need people, and that would hire enough people and pull enough people off of welfare, make enough young people have to do a little bit more extra work other than sitting in front of their TVs and phones, right? It'll make them have to get out there and be more physical, at least for the meanwhile, until automation actually starts taking over. But what that also does is it allows for these new people that are coming in to start adjusting. Oh, wait a minute, they are getting ready to take this. Now, what is it that we can do? Because once you start working, your creative juices start flowing. Your creative juices can't really I ain't gonna say everybody, but a lot of creative juices aren't flowing in the welfare area. That's what I'm saying.
You
Because
mean people who aren't going out and working and having jobs or
less
not
creative.
they're being less creative? Yeah,
Yeah, they're being
because they're
less
not being
creative
forced to, right?
because right, they're not being forced to. They're not being forced to produce. Everybody should be producing something, including myself. Everybody, rich people, poor people, everybody should be producing. If you're producing, you're going to get money, right? If you're not producing, you're sucking money. You're being a consumer. Consumerism is for a lot of poor people. Like even when they give us the little Easter eggs, I think that's what they call them, little Easter eggs when they talk about Bill Gates and Elon Musk and all these other people, but not entertainers. I'm not talking about entertainers. I'm talking about like the people with actual money. They say Bill Gates wearing a $12 shirt. He's a multi-billionaire and he's wearing a $12 shirt or a $100 shirt, right? He still owns, I don't know if he lives there, but he still owns that old house that he used to when he was in his when they was that Microsoft? No, that's Microsoft. But you know what I mean. They still own all these little houses. Elon Musk, they say that he doesn't even own a house. He doesn't want to own a house. He wants to, travel from here to here to here to keep on going, right? They're not really trying to buy all this Gucci and all this stuff. But that's what entertainers do. The entertainers entertain us so that we can be consumers. The people who make
Correct.
money, they're not out there, according to the Easter egg, they're not out there buying all this, Balenciaga and everything. They might have some nice cars, they might have some nice cars
Yeah.
to get around in, but
I think you hit the nail on the head, and a lot of it is programming, right? We see the entertainers wearing these things, and we often think that we're like the people, like when you watch something on TV and you see, let's say I'm wearing a Balenciaga shirt, and someone on TV is wearing it. Over time, the people think that the TV is mirroring what's happening in the world, but it's
right,
really us mirroring what we see on TV. So the point I'm making is that the TV programs literally program how we act. And it's so programmed that we think is organic by and large. Most of us
and
think
it's
it's
not.
organic, and it's not. But when it comes to these not celebrities, the truly wealthy, they have different value systems. They don't value items, they value quality. They don't value like people will value flavor in their food, and it's got to taste good, whereas someone who's more mature is going to value health. They're going to put
Right,
that first. So the value systems have been just so warped through the programming.
right, right,
And so the wealthy, like I've had an opportunity, fortunate enough to be able to work around with a lot of wealthy people over the years, because just personal training. The people who are going to be able to be a client of mine for the longest generally are going to have some money.
right,
It's just
right,
the nature of the business. So, and you can see how they value things different
right.
when you talk to them versus when I talk to people who are my peers, quote unquote, who have same economic background, versus talking to someone who grew up wealthy, and what they value and how they see the world is quite different. So I think that's what you're pointing at. And these people like Bill Gates and who don't, I think Bill Gates' quote is not even letting his children look at, play with the iPads and things like that, because they understand
What
that
it's
it's
doing.
not, yeah, they understand how it's programming the minds of the children.
Right.
And if I'm sure you can attest to this, bro, like in your area, other adults saying things like, these kids these days don't want to work, or these kids these days don't understand the value of hard work, or they're
Yeah.
lazy. And that is
Yeah.
not by chance.
It's
that
by
the
design.
it's by design, and they're
Yeah.
designing these children, or we're allowing it because
Yes,
allow
we
our
are.
children to be exposed to it. It's programming the youth for the future, which is a future where things will be more automated, so they don't have to have the same work ethic programmed into us like we did. We watch shows like Tim the Tool Man Taylor, or Married with Children, where he went and worked at the shoe store all the time, or Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
So it was different values being programmed into us as youth, but these children are being programmed for a future that's more isolated,
To make them
less
slaves.
family, to make
So
them
they
slaves to what though?
the
Not a
computer
job.
to the
Yes, the computer.
computer. They
To the
make them
computer.
slaves to the computer because they won't have the energy, the know-how, how to get out there and go work. But I
Exactly.
mean, and that's the thing. I work for quite a few billionaires, as far as doing bodyguarding and security work.
Yep.
Everyone's house that I've ever been to, even the millionaire that I work for, and he's the lowest. Guess what the billionaires did not have in their house?
TVs.
They did not have a television in their house. There was no TV in the house at all. None. None. Jamal, the millionaire that I work for, he had a huge projector TV, right? But you know what it was used for? He used it to watch fights. He used it to watch a few sporting events. He didn't watch television. He didn't even watch television. He might watch something with a girl or something like that, like a movie. Instead of going out to the show, he would millionaire a movie that's supposed to be at the theater right there. However, they
Right.
do that, and watch it in his house with his girl. But he didn't sit in front of the television. They didn't do that, and that's one of the things. Like, what's that one guy? There's a actor out there that says, I don't even watch my movies. You know,
Yeah, I'm not
what's that
sure.
guy? It's Johnny Depp. It was Johnny
Johnny
Depp.
Depp. Okay.
Johnny Depp said that, and there's other people that pretty much say the same thing. You know, about it. I don't like when they get put on the spot. Did you see my movie? Nah, I ain't see it. You know, sometimes they tell the truth. Nah, I didn't see it, and I've heard that enough. I heard that enough to believe that these cats aren't really out there watching movies like we are, because they're too busy doing other stuff. You know what I
They're
mean?
too busy producing while we're too busy consuming. It's like,
Exactly.
yeah, it's
Exactly.
either
And
you're gonna produce or you're gonna consume. I mean, and there's really no, you can be somewhere in between on the scale of the two. You don't have to
right.
be, but it's really just that. It- um, so that's why I'm not so convinced that over time this the economy is going to transform in a way 20, 30 years where there's more and more productivity. I think there's going to be less and less productivity done by humans, and which could be a great thing for some humans, because some of them will use the time to become more creative, and others will use the time to become more and more consumers,
Yeah,
as things like universal basic income and all these things come online.
I can see that. I can see what you're saying, but I believe that if we catch a nice group of young folks now,
Yeah.
and the ones that we have already had, if we train them and educated them, not school educated, but educated at the house enough to understand what organization looks like, to understand what productivity actually looks like, not a productivity on a game like, oh yeah, this is where I was last week on the game, but I went up 5 levels. Not that type of productivity, but uh,
Yeah.
but like to show them they would be able to carry that, and they would start feeling, I'm not really being that productive because, excuse me, because as we are the likeness and image of God. We are
Okay.
God's children. We are Jesus's brother, right? God is a creator, 100%. If we his children, we got his creation energy all in us. We can't feel like we're productive if we're not creating something. You
Hmm.
know, and so I figure maybe that's why people are stuck on Minecraft, because they feel they're creating a world inside this little game, right? So there's other things uh, like video games where they can create a car, but they're not really creating a car, but it's the dopamine factor that I created a car on this thing,
Yeah.
right? We are creators. If we could step back and not watch these things right here or the flat screens and stuff like that, we would be forced to create something. We wouldn't be consumers. We would be creators of something. And there's always going to be consumers of some sorts.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. It's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right. But
Yeah.
the consumption or the items that we would consume would be more helpful to us, more valuable, more uh, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
More
I get you. It will be to maybe to help us advance more than to bring us to our decline.
right. It'd be like, oh man, I I got this farm. I'm taking it back because a lot of people don't want to work on farms anymore. People don't want to get
It's
the
hard
fingers
work,
dirty.
man.
Right.
Hard work.
So I'm just saying, like, oh yeah, I'm working on this farm. I've been planting everything by my hands, but I do need to get something else to help me out because I'm getting old. Hey, this guy over here, he done created a planter, an electronic planter, an automated planter. So I go buy that, and it helps me plant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the kind of consuming we would do. We would do consuming that helps us in our creation. Some consumers would be, oh, this person has a better paint. This person has a better chisel. This person has a better canvas. Maybe created a better canvas. This person has a better rope because I do like to mountain climb on my free time. So I'm going to go ahead and buy his rope, but I'm going to go discover something what's up here. You know what I mean? Because that's the only way we find stuff is if we think about what we can create from what we find.
Hmm.
As far as adventurers and people who take journeys, I really think that the people who are mountain climbers, hikers, they are adventurers, but because
Yeah.
they lose a lot of their consumption or what's the word I'm looking for? They lose a lot of their awareness to find some new things because we're still too much consuming other things. Like a hiker
Sure.
would, you know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah, for sure.
we're doing stuff. Oh, there's medicine right here on the ground, but I'm not looking for it because I got me a Gatorade back here.
Yeah.
You know,
That's right. Yeah, I totally get it, man. And that's a great point. You mentioned that we're like mini creators, like, you know, like I tell you, I don't like the term, I don't use it. I prefer creator versus God, but that's a whole nother story. That's my own hang up.
right?
But it's all good. Um, but there's a verse that goes with that. I can't remember if it's the Nag Hammadi scriptures or another Gnostic Bible that is just precedes what's in the Bible. It says, "In the beginning, God created heaven and earth." It says that the Creator thought within Himself and then created. So because that is the natural process of creation. The first law from the Kabbalion is that all is mind, all is mental. So the point I'm making with that is, if you are able to think within yourself and then create, what has happened in our society is that point of thinking within yourself is intercepted. Like you just said, this guy
It's,
has the bottle, so he's not thinking. So in our reality, the thoughts get embedded into us from the controllers, and then you're unable to think about how you could create because your thoughts have already been intercepted, which is the first part of creation, thinking what could I create, or
can we
what
use
would
another
bring me
word for
joy
that?
to create. Go for it.
Imagination.
Yes, great word. Speak on it, Ali.
Well, no, it's the same thing what you're saying.
Yeah,
You're saying thoughts on the inside. What's on the
yeah.
inside? Our imagination,
Image
right?
in. It's an
Yeah,
image in on the inside.
right. So it's like when we're watching anything on television, we're not using our imagination. We're focused on somebody else's imagination.
Right. Which is becomes a seed that grows in your mind that
For
affects
some.
for something that affects your imagination. Then it affects
Yeah,
how you see the world or how you're going to imagine things. And the more times that happen to you, pretty soon you're not even you. You know,
exactly.
you're not even
You're
you anymore. And that's what we got going.
we're becoming vessels of somebody else's imagination.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And and that's why I think we always talk about it. There's a lot of different paths to enlightenment, which basically is saying the light bulb in your head goes off to show you what you could be is enlightenment. And you can find that through working out. I've discovered so much through working out. You can find it in politics or art or music or dance or food, whatever it is your passion is. But if you're constantly being fed things, you never really get to the point of what could I imagine and create that could express all of who I am, and that's what we're each here to do, figure out what it is that makes us excited so we can create and give more of that. Sometimes it might just be talking on YouTube. It may be in my case of my work, creating workouts that help people feel better. In your line of work, securing businesses and stuff like that. But all of those things can lead to the awareness that we could be something and create something. So all paths lead to enlightenment.
Yeah, that is a good one. But we'd have to still be able to take out the weeds.
Who's got the
That
weeds? What do you say? What
take,
weeds?
the weeds, the seeds that are being planted by
Oh,
John
sure.
Wick, by by
John,
Real
we have you
Housewives
want
of Atlanta.
John, we have you thinking you could do some stuff where like he's a bad
Yeah,
dude. Like I really be feeling like I could take on the world after watching John Wick.
yeah. I'm just saying because it's just some of the seeds. Some of them are good because somebody might be like, "Oh, I want to create
Sure.
a shooting range that allows us to do this, and that." Other people will take the drama from it and say, "Oh yeah, that dude just kicked that cat, motherfucker John Wick about to come out there." And I mean, even though it was a dog, everybody associates something with something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So it's like the drama in that, but or like I said, Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah,
It's
for sure. So yeah, some of it
it's a
can
weed.
teach you. Some of
Porn
it
is
can
a
teach you.
weed.
Yeah. You
I
gotta
don't
be
know
able to
what it can
separate the
teach you.
wheat from the shaft, like they say, right? The good from the separate what can benefit you in your life and what does not, and be able to throw that away. But that takes some
But it's so
awareness.
hard.
It is, yes. It takes some awareness to know what is going to be a good seed for me at this moment that I need to water. And first thought is just being clear, like just being clear about what it is that you want. Sometimes you like if you ever ask someone like what they want, like what do you want? What makes you? And well, I don't want this.
What do you want?
Yeah, what do you want? People are even unable to articulate what they want because there's so many different confusing thoughts going on. And even just getting to the point where you can say, this is what I want, this is what makes me happy is a huge feat. That could be a huge feat just to arrive at that.
Right.
Because there's so much noise to filter through.
Yeah, that part is It is an amazing way that they have and things that they do to keep us confused in that area, because there is so much noise. There's noise from the news. There's noise from regular society. There's noise from our everyday life, and how we are going to accept the way things are, and how we have to deal with other people who have accepted the seeds and the weeds from other programs. And
Yeah.
that happens even inside a lot of people's household, especially if they don't watch the same shows all the time together.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
without question. I mean, and I mean, in a sense, like the word, I feel like the world in which we live in is so much more fractured from being children, and I think a lot of it is because we talked about a little bit how the algorithms will feed you exactly what you want, which reinforces your worldview.
right?
Like for example, if I like chicken, I'm probably gonna get a lot of stuff about chicken or on my algorithm, and it's just gonna continuously reinforce that. So when
Right.
we live in a world where everyone almost has their own cell phone or their own social media, then you're going to be jaded in a sense to view the world from one lens, and that's why it's so important to like look at other viewpoints, listen to other people, look at other jobs, so that you can have a more well-rounded picture and be more empathetic to what other people might be experiencing, and it's only for your betterment.
Yeah, and there's a comment right here that says, "Lots of sheep in this world,
Ducati,
not
what
enough
up?
wolves."
Ducati, what's up, man? That's a friend of my son's. Yeah, you're right, man. I know Ducati. He's a wolf out there. They went 8-1 on the football field now. Big playoff game, but yeah,
Congratulations.
congrats, Ducati, man. Thanks for chiming in. Yeah, you're right, man. Too many. Oh, this is Spoon. Oh, it says Ducati with a spoon. Highlight some more. What up, Spoon? This is my boy Spoon. This is the dad. Yeah, man. A lot of
Okay.
lot of sheep out here, man. We trying to round them up. We're trying to round them up, Spoon.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of different ways of thinking that we need to share with each other so that we can grow, not just as a community, but as a people in the United States. You know, we have to be able to not be so guarded over our own, at least to the point to where we shun everybody else's word. At least
Yeah.
look at it from a different angle. You know, it might not, everybody's idea may not fit our individual idea, but
Right.
it's not bad to hear out somebody else's ideal, because you could take bits and pieces from
Right.
their ideas, from their thoughts, and bring it back to us
No
and
doubt,
help
man.
us grow,
Yeah.
or maybe their idea might match somebody else's idea. Like, okay, it doesn't fit me, but what you said does match this other person's conversation. Let me go ahead and give them that, and see if it works for them. You know what I mean? So it's good that we all listen and share.
Right.
We don't have to drink everybody's Kool-Aid, but it's nice to know what flavor it is.
Yeah, I mean, red, purple, blue. I mean, all the colors are pretty, right? You need a little bit of everything from the rainbow. Yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, man, it's just
The
about
regular rainbow. The
the.
regular rainbow in the sky.
I'm talking about 2000 rainbow. You know what? 2000 rainbow.
Go,
Oh man,
go,
you
go
got.
ahead.
Yeah, man. At the end of the day, man, we just here to help each other, bro. And hey, man, you have to see things through other lenses to gain knowledge, power, for sure, man. And I always mention uh, in my life personally, having a lot of different jobs, it opens you up to a lot of things. Me and you both in Marine Corps, and being around so many different people, like the world. I remember being in school, we used to call America the melting pot, right?
Right.
And we used to call it the melting pot. And it's because America recognized early that getting the best of the best you got to have all ideals, and nothing speaks to that point more than the Marine Corps or the military, where you got people from all walks of life, all different backgrounds, all different religions, all colors, all shapes, and all sizes coming
Yeah.
together for one common goal, because that is when you can recognize the true power that each individual can bring from their own cultural background, from their own social
Yes.
economic background, and put that all together for one common thing. That's what we should be talking about, I think, in these politics, man. You know, like I said, if they were really about that life of bringing us together, why wouldn't the messages be, hey, I'm Trump, but I'm going to work with Kamala and we're going to do this thing together, rather than they're so bad, they got no good ideas, don't vote for them, or we're so good, we got it all right, vote for us. Both of those, I think, are immature ways to look at it, because
Oh
the
yeah.
best ideas are going to come from both sides. So why aren't
Exactly.
we should be implementing something like that?
It's just like when I was talking about Candace Owens. When Candace Owens was on stage, the guy I was talking about was Killer Mike. It was Killer Mike and T.I.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of other people on the panel, but Killer Mike was the they start booing Candace because she's coming from a Republican side and she's giving her viewpoint on what she thinks is going on, right? What she feels and believes, and she's educated in that area, right? So she's giving her viewpoint, but everybody else is booing and calling her sellout and everything. T.I. jumps in and tries to get at her. Killer Mike was like, hey, calm down, let her speak. She might be she's giving us, some kind of good information, whether you use it or not, just let her speak, because she's here to help us. You know what I mean? And it's just everybody's trying to argue with people just because they don't agree. We have to listen. And that's mostly our culture, and I would say also probably so the culture of America right now,
Yeah, for sure.
Not just saying it's a black thing, because it's not a black thing. It's not a white thing or a race issue, even though there's issues in it. It's a whole American culture. It might be a world culture. I don't know.
You mean the state of wanting to just argue about and not see it from someone else's opinion? Is that kind of a world thing? Is that what you're getting at?
That's what I'm meaning. That's exactly what I'm meaning. Because like even now.
So.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I would say so, because that's the best way to do the opposite of what I was just saying, which is bring everyone together. That's the best way to keep people from seeing the because when you look at differences, you're looking at what separates us versus what brings us together. So as long as we can point out the differences, like how your viewpoint is different from mine, how your viewpoint doesn't agree with mine, you're never gonna be able to see how our viewpoints collide and how they connect us. So I think it's very much that way, because that creates a world that's more divided, and the more divided world is easier to conquer.
Yes.
Right? How's it go? I forget the saying about division and divide and conquer. Basically, is what it says. So the more division there is, the more easy it is conquerable. And we're talking about conquering the minds versus the physical bodies here.
Right.
And if you could conquer the mind, then you got the actions. That's easy. That's easy. Once you know what's in someone's mind and in their heart, you can almost predict how they're going to act in the situation. So,
and we're so accustomed to it because of religion. Everybody sitting there want to talk about God, right? It doesn't matter to me. In my mind, I know you're more of a universal thing. You're more of a universal thing. So I dig it. But it's like when we're talking and we want to be friends. I want to be friends with this person. I want to be friends with that person. So what if you call the God that, like, I believe in God. The God that I believe in does everything that your idea of the universe does, right?
Sure.
Oh, but I don't have to argue with you. Oh, well, God created the universe. That's an irrelevant argument. Or Jesus is God, and I'm talking to a Muslim. That creates division when in religion or even spiritual belief, we need to talk about what this energy, this entity has done for me, What has that energy entity, God, what has that done for you? How are you using God? How are you using this energy that I call God? You know, what is this thing? Not arguing. No, Muhammad is God. I mean, Muhammad is the savior, and you're in the same religion. No, Ali is the savior. You know, it's like, no, we got to, or not the savior, but the Messiah. You know what I mean? We got to
For
stop.
sure.
We got to stop arguing so much and doing. They use religion to help destroy us and pit us
Yeah.
against each other, basically.
You know, you make an excellent point, man. And I'm working on this thing. It's going to be my magnum opus, that they say, like your big thing you're working on. And it's about the body, because everyone has one. We all have a body, right?
Okay.
And the fact, and the reason why I mentioned it, because if we understand our body, truly what it is to be a human, that will show us all the connection we need of how we're all connected, no matter what belief system you have. Because you can't deny you have a body. You can't deny I have one. It might be a different color, it might be a different shape, it might be a different size. You also can't argue with how it works, because they work very similar. You also can't argue with how it gets here and how it's connected to the physical earth and how it all operates, because those are universal laws.
Right.
If I jump off a building, I'm gonna fall on the ground. You can't deny that. So I always go back to understanding who we are as people will give a lot of clues of how we're all really connected, because that speaks to how we even interact with earth, like how we breathe air in and out. And what is that really? What really powers a human body to make it go for 70, 80 years, 100 years without being plugged into a battery? How does a soul really get into a body? Like those kind of concepts show how we are all so similar. Because if we just look at it like I'm brown, you're pinkish white, or you're Asian colored, those are differences.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's also surface level, right? So I think we got to start talking about more like those types of concepts, is what I'm saying. Like really just going right to like, this is how we're similar. This is how we're connected. Versus this is my religion, that's your religion, this is my politics, those are your politics. Those things just divide. But we all have bodies. We all want to be healthy. We all want to be free in thought and in body. So I think just talking more about those things.
Yeah, I do believe that would help. I do believe that would help
as a start. I mean, it's not the end all be all, but it's a start.
No, it's not. But it will open up some doors. It will open up some doors. I think even thinking that way would open up some doors for separatists. You know,
for sure,
who are separatists. You know, but see, and this is the thing though. Most people who are separatists aren't separatists because of a person's color. They're separatists because of the way the cultures don't blend. You know what I mean? So like, and I don't care about being a person being separate. If you don't want to be around me, fine, don't be around me. 100%.
Hey bro, I got about 2 minutes. We gotta wrap up. We got 2 minutes.
Yeah. So, but it's just that. It's just that. I'm cool. We can roll,
okay.
baby.
About the separatists. I mean,
yeah, it's a longer topic for me, so I'm gonna.
Yeah. We got let's get into it next time for sure.
Most definitely.
Yeah, man. Another good one, bro. Thanks for jumping on here again, bro. We went about an hour and 15 minutes.
Hey, nice to see you, Spoon.
Yeah, thanks for joining, Spoon. The first guest in the house. Appreciate you, man. Good luck to Ducati and the fam this weekend. I know y'all gonna do big things. First playoff game for Sprague. It's also the school my son goes to for basketball. I think we have 5 more weeks or something like that.
Okay.
Before it kicks off. So yeah, man. That's it. A to Z back again. We hit a little bit of everything as usual. Hope you guys will join us next time again. Ali, you want to send us away, man?
Oh no, I'm good, man. We all can go ahead and go about our separate ways right now and enjoy our life. Hopefully, we'll just sit there and we'll be more tolerant to other people's views and just listen. We don't gotta accept them. Just listen. Maybe we'll learn something.
Exactly, man. Just be open, keep your hearts open, keep your minds open, and spread some love and hope out there today. I'm about to get into the gym and train a few people, change some lives,
There you
and
go.
that's what's up, man. All right, bro. We'll
I'm
see you
about,
next time.
all right, go.